go through and answer it up, open it up to any questions and things that people might have for that. So we're also going to be recording the webinar as well. So I'm just going to go to our Sporty page here. So this is our main Sporty page, because I'm going to show you where we'll put a link to the webinar. So we have a page on our Sporty site here called Workshops. At the moment, this has got information about the webinar that we're actually having tomorrow night, but we'll put a button here that'll have a link through to the recording of this webinar as well. Great. Okay, so I'm going to start off by, this is basically just going to be a relatively quick webinar to cover entering teams and registering your players into the your Netball Centre competition. So there are a number of different netball centres that are actually doing this. So I'm just going to actually go to, here's one as an example, Netball Hutt Valley. So if you are a club or a school administrator, you should be able to go, I might just ask everyone just to mute your microphone at the moment, to see if you could just mute them, that would be great. So I'm just going to go to your netball centre, whichever your netball centre is, should have a page on their website similar to this, and everything I'm going to cover tonight will be covered in here. So we're going to go through, we've got a quick start user guide. There's a link to it here that I've actually got open on a tab up here. On here as well, we've got our full-on user guide. So this is just open this one up in another tab.
Not actually seeing your screen. I'm just seeing the same thing.
You're not seeing my screen?
Oh, no, it says I'm viewing your screen, but I'm just viewing the same page.
Can everyone else see my screen?
Yes, I can see
we
it.
can see Sporty user guide. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it.
You might have two tabs open at your end, or see if you can click to sort of view something. We are going to be recording this, so we will be able to post a link of that as well if you can't see it. So back on this page here, the other thing that I'm going to cover as well is there's a little video tutorial, which is this one that's opened here. So essentially this is actually what I'm going to run through as if I'm a club or school. So so the starting point is, for any clubs or schools, one, if you don't know your page on Sporty to go to, or if you don't have login access, if you would contact our support team. So that is simply support@sportsground.com. So if you email our support team and say which centre you're part of in your club or school, they will help you set you to your area where you are. For example, there should be also a page on your site for your centre which actually lists who you are and where you go to find your site. So
can I just make a note on that anybody here on behalf of Netball Wairarapa clubs, your login details will get emailed through to you after this online tutorial.
Excellent, brilliant. Okay, so the starting point is you will come.
I can't connect, so I'll just sign up. Thank you.
Thank you.
George.
So all of you, when you go to your Sporty site, you'll notice it has its own address at the top of the screen. So this one is sporty.co.nz/ABC Netball. So that's the quick way to get to your site if you ever need to. So there are three things that you need to do to enter your teams and your players into the competition. Add your team, add your players, and drag and drop your players into your teams. So starting off, when you get to your site, you'll scroll to the very bottom of the page down here, and there is an admin login link. You click on that and you will log in with your username and password. And as I said before, if you're not sure what that is, if you email support@sportsground.com, our team will help you out. So I'm an administrator and I'm logged in. Step one is adding your team into the competition. So the first part of that is if I go and click on this dashboard icon on the top left-hand corner of the screen, and I come into this area called Team Builder. Then in Team Builder, there will be a form, and called Netball Registration under 2021. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see the grades that relate to your centre. So these grades may not be your centre, so you will see the grades that relate to your centre. And first of all, when you first come in, you actually won't see the people on the left-hand side. I've actually already done, started registering a few people. So the first step to add your team is whatever your grade that you're adding your teams into, you simply click Add Team and give your team a name. And this, I'm calling it A Team, but it can be called whatever your name of your team is. I click Add Team and then I click Save and Close. And I've added a team into the Senior 1 competition. And then you simply come down and add your teams or teams into whatever grades. So if you have more than one team in a grade, you can click Add Team there as well, and so on and so forth to add your teams into the competition. So that's step one. So if I just, I've just got open up here our quick start user guide, which is simply saying the 3 steps are enter your teams, register players and add your teams. So step one, go into the dashboard, Team Builder, click on Netball Registration, add your team to Team Builder by clicking Add Team against the respective grade. Once I've done that, I then go click out of here and I go back into my dashboard. And then I'm going to go into this area called Online Registrations. I'm going to click on that. And under, there'll be a folder 2021 and Netball. There'll be the registration form. So when people register, they will get added into your registration form here. So the easiest way to get people to register is you can actually go and send them a link to your form. So I'm going to click this little link icon out to the right-hand side. And when I click on that, it says copy link. Once you've copied that link, you can then go and email it to your members. You can paste it on Facebook, you can text it to someone, and when they go and click on the link, they will get taken to your registration form, or the registration form for your centre with the fields that are required to be entered by your centre. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to log out, because I was logged in as the club administrator, and I'm just going to go and complete the form as if I'm a member of ABC Netball Club. Anything that has an asterisk is a mandatory field. So I'm just going to click down and give myself a different name. Might have if I enter the right year. So I'm just entering the mandatory fields. I'm going to tick ethnicity. I could go and choose different options if I wanted to, and then I hit submit. So I'm John, and I've just gone and registered. I will be sent an email, a confirmation email, and so I'll click done. So that's as easy as it is for someone to go and complete their details. I'm now putting on my ABC Netball Club hat, so I'm just going to go back so that I'm in my logged in state again. So the third step, so I've gone and added my team, my players have registered, and I will go back into the dashboard and into the team builder area, into netball registrations. And here's where John registered and some other people that had registered beforehand, because I'd set that up. My 2 teams over onto the right, and I simply drag and drop. And we can now see that John's been added to the senior A team. And while I'm at it, I might just grab a couple of people over and drag them into the teams as well. So you'll see as I start dragging people into the team, it increases the number, and it shows on the left-hand side that they are all added into the team. And I could go and click into this team, and it shows the my people in my team. So that's essentially it. That's adding your teams, having your players registered, and dragging and dropping your people across. So I'm just going to show you now in the online registrations area where the people sit in your database. So I've just come into online registrations again. And beforehand, remember we copied a link to that form. If I actually go and click onto the name of the form, it will list all of the people that had registered. And you can see John's here. And if I actually go and click into John's record or into anyone's record, you can go and update their details. And you can do that because you are the administrator that has login access to do that. So your players won't be logging in to register. They will simply be going and clicking the form. Only you or whoever else has login access from your club or school will be able to go in and access this back end and see your players. From this view, you can also export your list. So I could click in here and I could go and export my registration list and it would open out in the CSV file. And another thing that you can do, so if I just go back to the minimum requirements that's required for your centre, I've entered my team, I've registered my players by emailing my player a link. And I've added my players to the team. I'll just show you this. There is another way that you can add your players, and this is where you would actually manually go and enter your players. We would recommend that you don't do this because we don't want it to be another task for likely a volunteer club or school administrator to go and manually add your players when it's so easy for them to go and enter their details themselves. But I'll just show you, sorry, I was just back in this area, how you can do that. So I'm in my online registrations area. And from this view here, there is actually an add new button. So when I click on this, it actually opens up the registration form. So I could go in and start adding someone's details. When you do this, they will also be sent a confirmation email, but this is just you actually manually going and adding their details.
Question, Joe.
Yes.
Sorry, Iwi from Livewise Netball. So they don't have to go online to register. They can just ring me and give them the details, give me the details, and I can feed it in for them. But
they can do, but I'd really recommend that you try and send them the link for them to go and enter their details. So, because then otherwise you have to go and key in that information for them. So,
yep.
Yeah, but there's two options. Yep. So the two options are this one here, send someone a link and they can text them a link and they can do it, or this one here, click add new and you enter their details there for them.
Now, I'm not at all savvy with this sort of thing. So will you send, can I request a link with all this again so I can go over it again?
Yes, so we are recording this video. So this session we're going to be recording and we're going to put a link to it. So this is if you go to our Sporty website, sporty.co.nz, there is actually a page here called workshops. So this has information currently on it about another webinar we're running tomorrow night. So tomorrow we will put a button on here which will have a link to this recording. So this will be recorded here for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, also for whichever your netball centre happens to be, they should also have this information on their website. And there is actually a little video tutorial that actually steps through what I've been going through as well. With that, right.
Hi Joe, it's Izzy from Dio. Can you just go back to that Netball registration page and click on the import?
I'm seeing that because I'm logged in as an administrator.
Okay.
So you won't see that.
Okay, so we've had a discussion about importing out of our Excel database.
Yep, and that's what I've been talking to you about separately. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So I
that's
just
there.
noticed the button on that page. Is that not able? You're not able to import the stuff?
No, that's only something that we can do at our end, at our
Okay.
sporty end. Yeah.
All right. So I'm just yeah, like I was with iwi, we're sort of trying to take away that connection between the players logging on and doing the input. If we have 400 players, so we're expected to do all of that because this link's not going to go to our players to register.
Yes. Yep. And but that's something that I can talk to you about separately in
Okay.
relation to DIO. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Joe, just Wana from Epsom Girls as well.
Hi,
probably
Wana.
the same issue with Izzy.
Yeah.
Is that we're used to downloading from Kmart the information.
Yep.
Rather than send out the registration forms. So is that a individual conversation or?
Yes, I can actually cover that now, and it's not enabled on my site that I have at the moment, but for those schools, we actually do connect with Kmart. So I'm currently in the team builder area, and we can connect a school with Kmart. And what will happen is out to the left-hand side, this actually currently just says 2020, but there would be another button here. And when you click on that, it will show your role from Kmart. And as I showed before from this tab, how you can drag and drop someone into a team, you can actually drag and drop someone directly from the Kmart role into a team from that.
Right, you have that functionality.
Yes, we do. So the first step is if you can contact us, we need to send your school a code to enable your school's Kmart instance to talk to your sporty site. And then once that's connected, you can it can bring that through.
And you've had schools do that?
Yes, we have. Yeah, so we do registrations like this, not just for netball, but for other codes as well. Yeah, so it does require that the fields that are asked on the form do match the fields that come through from Kmart for that.
Kia ora, Joe. Lisa from Aupaki Vixens Wired Up a Netball.
Kia ora.
Just a quick question with the registration page. On choosing the participant details, can you be a player and a manager? Like, can you pick
Absolutely.
both? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yes, you can. So if I just come back and
sorry, yeah,
here.
we're a small club, so it's just, you know, just thought, you know, there are player managers or player.
Yes, there are, and
Yeah.
and in those instances, you can actually have someone in more than one team as well.
Okay.
So as a, for example, Shay's signed up as in the A team as a coach. So that's these little icons that appear. I actually could go and drag her and say she's actually a player in the B team. And when I do that,
oh, I see.
It actually brings this little pop-up that says, do you want to move them or add them? And I want to add her. So I want to add her into that team. And when I click into that team, she's listed in here, but her role in this team is actually not a coach.
Okay.
So I can go and untick that and go and change her to a player. So these are kind of some of the more, some of the additional things that you might want to do or you can do, so you can have people in multiple teams. So this is a little quick start user guide, this one here. This other user guide, the 24-pager, actually has more of that information on it for things that you may want to be doing, because there may be some additional requirements depending on the centre, as in that they require a minimum number of people added to a team or a maximum number of people added to a team. So there might be some additional functionality in there.
Can I ask one more question? Sorry.
Sure,
I'm not sure if this is happening tomorrow or not. Can you do transfers on here?
Transfers are not connected at the moment. So depending on some codes, we do have transfers, but not on netball.
Okay.
Yeah, with that. The other thing I just thought I'd show you quickly as well is in the online registrations area, you can actually come and edit this form and add your own fields onto the bottom of it. Now that's relevant for those clubs or schools who might want to use this for your own sign up for your sport. So what I'm going to do is, remember before we copied the link to that form, I'm actually going to click this little pencil icon to edit the form. when you come in here, you will, I'm just going to scroll down to this, but there's some fields that you can't change. So these are the fields that are set that need to be completed. But if I scroll down the bottom, you can come in here and you can add a section, and it then lets you add your own questions. So as a, for example, you can add a question like that. And then you have all these different options of how you want to add questions. So if you ever use something like a Google form and things like that, you'd be familiar with creating questions. So if I come and click on this, I want people to choose one position. So I can say, you know, are you goal attack, goal defense, blah, 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 to keep adding all the different options. You can even do things like make it required. And then I could add these, you know, just adding additional questions and so on and so on. And so when someone completes the form, which I'll show you in a minute, they will see all of the questions that are on the form. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come and save my form. This site that I'm on enables online payments to be accepted. So that is something that you can have people sign up and pay as well. And details about that are covered more in the fuller user guide. But if I just go now and have a look at my form, it's my form here at the top, and this is all fine. And I come down here and these are these additional questions. And so what happens when someone completes a form is they complete all of the details. Now, any information that they have entered on these fields here does not get passed up to your netball centre. That stays locally with your organisation, with your club and school. And it just means that you can get fuller information when someone's signing up that you might then use to help you with your trialling or other things that you're doing, things like that. Great. So I'll probably now open it up sort of to questions, any questions that people might have. I'll just see if there's a couple there on the chat. Yep. Great. So any questions that people would like to run through on what we've covered?
Hi, Jo. It's Katie Ann here from College Rifles in Auckland.
Hi.
We have quite a large club and do our grading between premier teams, general grade, and then junior, which it goes into a separate competition at Auckland Netball. Is there a way to have, say, 3 different forms, but then be able to build your teams on the same interface? Or do we have to use the one form across all?
You do have to use the form for them to be all registered and to appear into your centre, but you can, before your team close off happens at your netball centre, you actually can go and drag people and drop people into these teams to kind of get them set up as trialling teams. And then at a later stage, you can actually just go and delete the team. Now, what that is doing is it's deleting the team from appearing here, but it's not deleting the players. They all appear there on the left-hand side. Now, this is up until your centre will probably have a team entry close-off. So these are the team entry close-off. So after the 16th of April, for example, I would not be able to make a change to my premier team. So some clubs use this when they have to try and work out who's going to be in what trialling teams, by using Team Builder like that. The other option is you actually do have the ability, you can actually go and create your own what we call local form. The only thing with that is you don't really want to use that for netball registrations because everyone has to be registered in here, so you'd only have to register them again in here. So what I'd probably recommend is have all your players still register here and use how you create your teams in Team Builder to help with your trialling. Does that sort of answer things for you, or?
Sort of. I'm also thinking of got different registration requirements between them. So like with our premier ones, I'd need them to submit a photo, whereas the rest of the club, we don't need their player photos.
Right. So photo is actually one of the fields on the form, and it is set to be non-mandatory. So you would instruct your Premier players they need to add a photo. If they do have a photo added, you can straight away see that in Team Builder. Their photo would appear when they register with their photo. So that's how, if a photo is, you'll see it there straight away. If someone has registered and they haven't actually added their photo, if they do need to have a photo added, what you can, there's a couple of options. Is one, they can email you the photo, and because you have the ability to edit someone's record, you can actually come in and edit their record and upload their photo, and that will actually add it against their registration record. The other way is when someone registers and receives the confirmation email, at the very bottom of the confirmation email, there will be a link. They can actually go and click on that link to update their own photo.
Yeah, that one's good. Great.
Yeah, to save you having to do that. So
yeah.
let's do that.
Cool. Thank you.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
It's Rose here.
Hi, Rose.
On your forms, when you've set it all up and everything, all your fields are working, I want to put just straight text underneath one of the sections, but inside the form.
Yes.
And I want that text to have a link in it.
Okay, so the way that you can just add text, so you want to add a form, but you don't actually, a question, but you don't want a response.
No,
so
I just
you
like a reminder or something.
Yep, like a reminder. You can actually use what's called add text. And that will simply appear as a line of text on your form. Now, you can't contain a link in that. If you're wanting to, when someone completes the form, to have something that actually has a link, for example, to your code of conduct or to some further information, you can actually use this area at the top of the form, which is the introductory text. And within here, you can have some information, and you can also include a link. So you can insert a link to a document or to another website or anything like that. And when someone completes the form and receives their confirmation email, they can click on that link and it will open up that document. So there's two parts to it. So here you actually can just write text, I don't know, something like, reminder, read that, and that will simply just appear as text, but it won't be able to contain a link. If you're wanting to be a link, you have to use this area, the introductory text, or you actually can use this area at the bottom, which is terms and conditions. You can add terms and conditions.
So the code of conduct, so the link's in the top, and you've got, say, like a code of conduct, and it's going to take you to a page.
Yeah.
And then it says you to check it off or sign it so that you've read it.
Okay, so what I would do instead is actually add into the terms and conditions. I have read our code of conduct and include the link to the code of conduct in here. And I'm just going to save the form, and then I'm going to show you what that looks like. Whenever you add something into the terms and conditions at the bottom of the form, it introduces a checkbox that people must accept before they can complete it.
Okay. Maybe another example. Say like for every tournament we have, we ask for an umpire. I've just asked the umpires, the president, if she wanted it 2 separate forms, and she said she didn't. She wanted it in this one form. So what I was thinking of was creating a link to go to another form to create.
Yeah, you could do that.
But I need, does that mean when everything's all signed off in the umpires thing, I want, when I submit, do the 2 forms go together?
No, they're 2 separate forms. So I might talk to you separately in relation to the umpire specific information in relation to your umpires.
Yeah, because the
on that.
time would be to that specific team. All right.
So why don't we could catch up separately in relation to the umpiring side of it.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions that people might want to have?
Hi Joe, my name's Amber Gardner. I'm from Hutt Valley Netball. I'm actually my school team is part of Hutt Valley Netball.
Yes.
Just sorry, this might seem like a really simple question, a silly question. I'm just wanting to just double check I've got this right in my head. Each netball team that we've got, I think our school's got like 4 or 5. Each netball team will get their own separate link. Is that correct?
No,
it's
all as one. So
beautiful,
each,
and then I drag them across and put them into their.
You're dead right.
Specific team. Okay, cool. Just sorry,
Yes.
I better just check that. It was yeah, no, that makes sense. Awesome. Thank you, Joe.
No problem.
Oh, sorry, one more question. I
Sure.
noticed in the forms there's the payment.
Yes.
Is that just a reference for the club to see that they've paid their subs?
How does that work? So there are a couple of options. So one, you actually can add what are called products onto the bottom of your form. And what that means, so it could be, I could add a membership fee of, and I know it's obviously not going to be that, but you could add that at the bottom. So that when someone completes the form, it would actually record that they owe the club $15, club or school. What you can also do is, if you are an organisation, you can actually have online payments enabled. And this organisation has online payments enabled. And what it means is that the person can register and pay. So if I now go at the same time.
Okay.
So to set online payments up, that we have a facility called Sports Pay. And
not mandatory though, is it? It's just
not at all. No,
use.
Absolutely, completely optional.
Gotcha.
So if I now had a look at my form, I've added a payment amount. See how it says online payments are available?
Oh, okay. Yep.
So if I complete this, I can then go and say, that should be set to 1, because you may want to have a membership fee or a shirt or a photo at the end of the year. Now, if you are using online payments, that information equally does not get passed to the centre. That sits locally with you as your organisation.
Okay. Great, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, so some of that more detailed information is sort of covered in the more War and Peace version of the user guide that does go through. And I haven't covered this either, but next year, once you have your database of people from this year, people don't have to re-enter their details. There's a really easy way, and this explains it in here, that so pretend you were in, this was 2020, we're coming, or 2021 coming into 2022, you can actually go and invite your database back to re-register. So this is a really neat feature. So this will go and send everyone who has registered from this year an email with a link to their details. They click on it, it opens up their form pre-filled in, they hit submit and they're registered and they haven't had to enter any details. So this year is kind of the year of pain, I guess, getting people added into your database. But the fuller user guide covers how you can go and add fields onto your form and go and then use online payments and things like that if you want to. And it can even do things like connect through to Xero, so that when someone completes the form, it will automatically go and raise a draft invoice for that person in Xero if you want to. Which is in there. So tomorrow night's session that we're going to be running is it's for all clubs or schools or organisations that use the Sporty platform. This is our fuller workshop. So anyone's more than welcome to attend that. That is going through more information like how you can use Sporty as a website. It will also cover the online registration thing a little bit and how there is a mobile app available as well. So anyone is welcome to register, and some of you may already be welcome registered for that. We are also videoing that or recording that and so if you can't attend, there will be a video of that as well, which is, if you've ever watched something on YouTube, you can play it at double speed, so you can get through it and a lot quicker than 2 hours.
Cool.
Yeah.
Joe, can I just ask, it's Juana again from Epsom, is this a free program to use?
Yes, it is. It's free to the clubs and schools.
Okay. Clubs and schools.
Our commercial relationship is with your centre. Yes.
Okay, and just in terms of the people we enter into Sporty, like our students, we're talking about students.
Yes.
Does their privacy remain intact, or are the people we enter into the Sporty database, are they open to be used to being sent to other databases at other levels or to marketing firms? So
absolutely, definitely not.
Okay.
So absolutely not. So as using the system as well, we provide this not only for netball. Every rugby player in New Zealand is registered through this platform. Every rugby league player is registered through this platform. Every touch player, a lot of volleyball. So we do this across multiple codes. We actually have our privacy statements on our site as well. The details that are entered on your form, and actually only the top section of the form, if you're adding fields on, goes through to your netball centre. And we have obviously do not touch the data as well. So happy to send through statements in relation to privacy about that as well. So we treat that really seriously, which you've actually raised a relevant point as well, as if you, so one thing from here is that you can in this area go and through this admin settings area as well, there's an area called login and access control, and you can actually have more than one person of your organisation who is the administrator of the site. And they have access to the back end of it, but the only person that can see this database is me with this login here as well. So that's just from a privacy perspective.
And just a
Good
very
question.
last quick question is, in terms of doing payments through the Sporty website, have you found that finance officers at the school have been open to doing that?
There's been a mix. So just as summarising it quite quickly is a lot of sport payments are taken through Sporty, and that's generally done because at a school sport is treated as a bit more of an extracurricular activity, and so the payment is done through Sporty. That information then does need to be fed back into the, say, your student management system. And so there is a discussion with, we work with a number of schools that do all of their sports registrations, not just netball, through this platform and make it mandatory. So it depends on the school and how they want to sort of work with that. But we're certainly happy to have a discussion, with you about that as well, to go through that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Hi Joe, it's Izzy again. Are we going to get all this done for the registration dates, Joe?
I need to check the registration dates, but yes. As a short answer. Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's fine for that.
Sorry, I have one last question. Sorry, guys.
No.
Say we have a team injury or something happens and we need to add a new player. Is that easy enough just to do on here, or do you need to get hold of your club, your association, and do it that way?
No, you can add another player in here. So and this differs depending on the centre. So in this instance, my centre has a close-off date when teams are entered, but it actually has a later close-off date for team building, because obviously you might know by the 16th of April exactly who's in your team.
Yeah.
So I've got up until the 30th of April, if I'm a Prem player, to go and drag and drop my players into teams.
Okay.
After that date, you can't do that.
Right,
and
that's something I'll do with my association.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with that. So no, that's great. Great. Well, if that's the questions, thank you very much, everyone, for attending tonight. And as I mentioned, there will be a recording of this up online as well. If you do have any questions that come outside of this, please contact our support team. So support@sportsground.com. And, we want to help you make the process as seamless as possible. And I realise for a lot of people who haven't used this before, it can be a little bit daunting, but we're here to help.
Great.
Just one question from me. How do I get into tomorrow night's seminar?
If you go to our